Alright. What's going on, guys? My name is Forgotten or Isaac, and this is gonna be my first attempt at a scripted voiceover. So, bear with me here, because, I'm pretty terrible. But what's up, everybody? I consider myself a pretty run-of-the-mill gamer. And today, I want to talk to you guys about the state of Destiny 2 and give you my thoughts and opinions on the situation as a whole. As I do hold a soft spot for not only Destiny but Bungie. September 6th, 2017, Destiny 2 finally drops. Players from the original Destiny drop everything and get on. The campaign mainly focused on Cabal and Guardians. The first experience we had with Destiny 2. Personally, I thought this was a weak launch compared to the experience I had coming from Destiny 1 and the Taken King. Personally, Taken King was GOAT. Number one GOAT. Wrath of the Machine, that's mid right there. That's mid. Now, the Red War wasn't the worst thing I've ever played. It just didn't feel like it was enough for me, personally. But I do think it gave a pretty strong start to players that have never played the Destiny franchise. Players that have heard of Destiny or have seen it would have been pretty happy with that experience, I would say. The experience of losing your power, light, super, was a pretty good way of teaching players what each super and what each ability was used for. And the experience of feeling your Guardian growing stronger as the campaign goes on, it just feels right. This is why you see the same story with all the other expansions. At its core, Destiny 2 feels more like an MMORPG than it does a true RPG or a looter shooter. There is nothing wrong with the way this core feels. Playing through strikes, missions, dungeons, raids, and everything else is truly a great experience. Anyone that played Destiny 1 with friends can attest to this. What really makes this experience feel so bad is the expansions. They fell really short of what players wanted and what we expected out of Bungie. I remember having conversations with friends in Destiny 1 while waiting for LFG players, just wondering why there isn't matchmaking for raids. I personally think any downside would be outweighed with the ability to just hop into a raid with your 3-man or 4-man group and try to knock out that raid. I do know that dungeons came into exist a little bit later on in the lifespan, but it was always nice to be able to go in and not have to worry about being 2-man short for any mission. And it's always nice to be able to do content without having to plan a week in advance to make sure that everyone has those days off and has all day to play. Personally, I love harder content. But we gotta remember, there is someone out there that's running solo and having a lot of content locked behind either way too difficult missions, paywalls for the DLC, or just not enough people. It truly does feel bad to not be able to play that content when you are solo. Like you're being punished for not having friends Like, not having friends isn't punishment enough. The game now has to make fun of you for it too. A lot of this is overlooked, honestly. The mechanics and gameplay and story all feel pretty good and hold up pretty well. But look, gamers hold grudges. With the release of the Beyond Light expansion in November 2020, Destiny 2's original base campaign, The Red War, as well as all the content from the Curse of Osiris and the Warmind were removed from the game and placed into the Destiny content vault, and are no longer accessible. I pre-ordered Destiny 2 because I felt like I missed out in Destiny 1, and I didn't want to miss out again. All the fun I had in Destiny 1 was truly something, and I really wanted Destiny 2 to come with that type of energy, that same type of excitement for the game. That's why I pre-ordered Destiny 2. Surely, being a loving fan, I wouldn't get slapped in the face. But I was wrong. Not only vaulting what many people paid hard-earned money for, they continued the trend. Even with the backlash from the community, dropping whole expansions and vaulting them. Meanwhile, the whole time selling us microtransactions to pinch out every penny they could, while steadily taking away content that we paid for and that we love. Obviously, it didn't sit well with most of the community. But everything as a whole just hindered the game's chance to grow. Taking away the start of Destiny 2 was basically ripping the tutorial out of the hands of the people that needed it the most, the new players. Original players can surely attest to at least one or two friends that would clown on Destiny for the many mistakes that it has made throughout its lifespan. Taking away content was one of the biggest things that hurt Destiny 2 overall, because in many friend groups and in many places, if the game was brought up, it was immediately joked and clowned upon and just made to seem like it was a horrible experience, like it was never going to be a good game, like it was never a decent game to begin with. Even though at its foundation, Destiny 2 was a good solid shooter with cool loot, things to do, plenty of stuff to enjoy with your friends, but it had a really bad reputation with a lot of the players that pre-ordered the game and got it when it first released. I want to make it clear that I haven't 100% complete everything in Destiny. And it's not from a lack of trying. I went out of my way to go ahead and buy all the DLC so I could make sure there's no paywall in my way. Money spent, expansions acquired. Every mission I did, I slowly felt myself growing further from the player base. Every DLC mission I continued with made me feel like I was further and further away from all the other players playing the game. The more content I had, the less friendly players I would run into. I could confidently say that it's super common to see many players with only 1 or 2 DLC, but not all the expansions. In a game where you want to be with your friends, conquering darkness, gathering loot, and defeating powerful beings, in well-made raid encounters, and of course, PvP in that crucible, that sweet, sweet crucible. It's a shame that everything Bungie has done truly feels like it's separating their community and pushing us further away from each other, when the backbone of this game is playing together with friends and completing difficult tasks and getting that really sweet exotic loot at the end of the raids. Everything Bungie has done truly feels like it's separated the community and made us forget all the fun and love we had while playing. You're not quite finished yet, Bungie. There's still hope that you can do the right thing and move this game into a direction it should have been going from the start. Our feedback as a community means nothing if you don't follow through with what we ask of you. Or at least tell us it's not possible. We can't do this. Or, hey, that's probably a really bad idea. Probably shouldn't put that in the game. We do want to hear that. And it is nice to hear the feedback from the developers, even if it is something that we don't want to hear. There is plenty and plenty of information about complaints, suggestions, and overall things that you can do, Bungie, that will make your game more fun and more friendly, to bring back these players that truly the game deserves, and the hard work from your developers. The game at its core is truly a great game and deserves to go on. My first suggestion to you, Bungie, is work on the new player experience. Too many times have I tried to bring in a friend to play the game, and they are just extremely overwhelmed with everything that's on their screen and not knowing anything about the game. No tutorial, no mission that kind of walks you through, kind of handholds you. You need something like that to help some of these players get into the game and get a foothold in. You can't live off the players that have been here forever. We're getting tired of copping money for the same old, and getting treated the way we are. We need new players in here. We need a better experience. We need to be able to load up a matchmaking into a raid with a couple of our friends without having to wait weeks in advance, get days off. It needs to be a more friendly environment. It needs to be more fun. There needs to be a reason to get your friend off that other game and to get him onto Destiny, to come do some raids, come do some PvP, some Crucible with you. Because right now, with the entire player base separated as it is, even if someone did want to do something, you have to check all of your DLCs, all of your expansions to make sure that you can even do the content with your friend. It makes it so hard to just play the game and to just get a friend to come and help you with something when they have to pay $25 for an expansion that doesn't have any content but exotic weapons and armor, because you took the whole story out of it. No one wants to cop $25, $20, $19 for an expansion that has no content but items, but actual weapons and armor. And let's be fair, a lot of the exotic armor are in a pretty sad state. So it's gotta have something. Bungie. That's my suggestions, and that's my take. Thank you guys for listening, and don't forget to leave your suggestions down in the comments. Let's try to make this game a tad bit better and keep it from dying just a little too soon. Thank you.